Hi, let us understand how to test the resiliency of any application by injecting a fault dynamically within the application. To test as well as to inject the fault, I don't need to make the code change if I have Istio deployed within the application. I can dynamically inject the fault by deploying the virtual services as a part of the proxy. Let me go ahead and make the change to this specific application where I'm going to make the delay for rating service to 7 seconds. This is the sample application where all the required destination rules, virtual services and gateway is deployed, and I do have this particular node port to access the application. Let me access the application and check the result within the Jaeger UI. Let me search the traces. So this is the trace and I do have the response in 64.98 milliseconds. Now I am going to make changes to this specific application where the services can use only the version 1 within the subset. At present, all the versions are being used. For example, within the reviews, version 1, version 2 and version 3 will be used equally within the service reviews. I can confirm that by accessing the application in number of times. I am getting the red star now. Let me go ahead and refresh the screen. I do not have any star. Now I am getting black color stars. So the requests are equally getting distributed to all the three subsets. Now let me go ahead and apply this particular change where all the virtual services will be using only the version 1 within the subset. Let me allow a few seconds for the change to get propagated to the proxy. Let me access the application. I'm not getting any reviews. That means the request is getting into the version 1 of the reviews. So whatever the time that I am accessing, always it will get into version 1. I can verify that within the UI as well, where I can go ahead and enable the request percentage. So 100% of the request are getting into version 1. Now let me go ahead and add the reviews to test version 2. Now I am going to make the change to the application so that the user with the name JSON will be in a position to access version 2 of the reviews. All other user will be accessing version 1. So only for the user JSON, that is when the user JSON logged in, automatically it is going to add a header with the key end user and the value JSON. Or otherwise it will route to the version 1 subset within the reviews. Let me go ahead and apply this particular YAML file. It is applied. I can verify that within the Kali UI. Let me get into the reviews, virtual service and get into the YAML file. Here I do have the change where the header is having JSON will be routed to reviews with subset v2. All other users will be routed to version 1 of reviews. Now let me go ahead and access the application. I have not logged in, so I am not getting any reviews because the request will get routed to version 1. Now let me log in as the user JSON. No password required. So automatically it's going to add the header. So I am getting the black color star, that means version 1. So whatever the time that I am accessing, always I will be getting version 1. Now I am going to test by injecting a delay to the ratings. I will be executing this specific YAML file where within the ratings I will be injecting a fault where it is going to inject a delay of 7 seconds. And that will be injected only for the request having the header end user as JSON. Or otherwise it's going to send the response from version 1 from ratings. Of course, within ratings, we do have only one version. So all I'm going to concentrate is this particular time delay that I'm going to inject. Already we executed this specific scenario as a part of request timeout use cases. Now let me go ahead and verify what's going to happen. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to inject a time delay of 7 seconds for ratings. So if reviews from version 2 is accessing it, I will be waiting for 10 seconds. So within 7 seconds, ratings will give the response, and of course the response will be given back to the product page, but the product page is having a timeout of 3 seconds. So what will happen immediately after 3 seconds, it's going to give the response back by timing out, and it will give another try. In the next try also, it will not be in a position to get the response, so it's going to give the error message. In case if the user is not JSON, then the reviews version 1 will be accessing the ratings, and that's going to have a timeout of 2.5 seconds. In that case also, the ratings will not be in a position to get the response and reviews will time out. Let's go ahead and do the demo and verify within the Jaeger UI. Let me get into the ratings virtual service. Let me view the YAML file. Let me go ahead and execute this particular YAML file where it is going to inject a fault of 7 seconds delay only for the user JSON. Let me execute the YAML file and allow a couple of seconds. Now I can verify the change within the virtual services from Kiali Web UI. Let me get into the ratings and open the YAML file. Here I do have the change. Now let me go ahead and access the application. I'm accessing the application and it took around 6 seconds because the product page is going to try 2 times and it will get timed out, so the entire review got errored out. Let me go ahead and verify the same within the Jaeger UI. This is the exact scenario that we tried as a part of request timeout use case. Let me check the errors. Here the product page waited for 3 seconds and it timed out. Then it made the second attempt to try, and again after 3 seconds it got timed out, but still reviews it was waiting for 7 seconds because we added a fixed delay of 7 seconds for the ratings, and after that it got the response from the ratings. But still it cannot be used because the response is sent from the reviews to the product page as timed out, and I did not get the response within the UI. So the fix for this is either I need to change the wait time for the product page to wait for more duration from the reviews, or make the code change so that the response time can be less, or I can go ahead and make the version 3 which is working fine to respond to all the users. And in the meantime, when I am doing the fix, what I can do, I can inject a specific fault from the ratings so that the other functionality can continue to work and it will not impact the microservices, so that the impact on the microservices will be less till I am making a fix for this particular bug. Let me go ahead and apply this particular YAML file where I am going to inject a fault where it is going to abort 100% of the request with the HTTP error 500. Let me go ahead and apply this particular virtual service for the ratings. Yes, it is applied. Let me go ahead and verify the same within Kiali UI. Getting into the ratings, virtual service, view the YAML file. Here I do have the change where it is going to provide 500 error message. Let me go ahead and access the page now. I am getting the response from the reviews, but ratings, it provided the response saying rating service is unavailable. Earlier, just because the ratings was taking longer time, it was impacting the reviews as well. Now I have injected a fault within the ratings virtual services so that I can get the response from the reviews, and once the ratings microservices is fixed with the error, I can go ahead and remove this particular fault that we had injected. Let me go ahead and verify within the Kiali Web UI. To see the details, let me go ahead and access the Web UI multiple times. Now let me refresh the page. Yes, from version 2, I am getting the error 500. So 100% of the time I am getting the error message from the version 2. Now let me access the same thing from the Jaeger UI as well. Here I got the error and I will be in a position to check there is a flag that is set with error equal to true, and I can check the status code as 500 as we set within the YAML file. So this particular fault injection is going to be very helpful till we are getting a fix for the actual microservices, as well as to test the resiliency of the application, how the application behaves when a fault is injected into the system. Now let me go ahead and clean this particular application. I'm going to delete the virtual services from product page, reviews, ratings, and details. Let me go ahead and verify the Kali console. Yes, it's deleted, so that I can use the same application installation for the next use case. So in a quick summary, we learned about how to inject the faults dynamically into the virtual services to test the resiliency of the application.